Ready? Hello, good morning. My name is Heather, and I'm not here to teach you guys sign language, so I'm going to stop signing now. But today I want to introduce you guys to some aspects of deaf culture and how to better interact with the deaf community. I'm really interested in signing, and I'm currently enrolled in an ASL class here at Western Piedmont. Brian Kennedy is my teacher. And before I took this class, I didn't know anything about deaf culture, nothing about sign language, and I didn't know how to interact with deaf people. But I was always really interested in it. I always wanted to learn how to sign, but I just never knew how to. I never had enough courage to go and try to talk to deaf people or anything because I didn't want to sound dumb or rude or, say the wrong thing. I was a waitress at Murray's restaurant in town, and we would have deaf people come in, and everyone was like, I don't want that table, I don't want that table. But, I think a lot of times people misjudge deaf people because they don't know how to talk with them. But they're just like everyone else. They can be really nice, and they'll work with you if they know that you don't understand sign language. And I just want you guys to realize that they're just like all of us, and I hope that I can teach you a little bit about it. So, first off, it's important to understand the difference between deaf and deaf. They're the same word, but one is capitalized and not, obviously. Deaf means, the uncapitalized, is the medical term. It means partially or completely lacking in the sense of hearing. Deafness can be caused by illness, hereditary. It's damage from exposure to loud noise. It can be caused by age, and it may occur from damage in the inner, middle, or outer areas of the ear. I know what all of you guys are thinking, that you're so glad that you're not deaf, and I hope you never become deaf. And don't get me wrong, I don't ever want to be deaf either, but most people are actually really proud of the fact that they are deaf. And this is where deaf comes in. Deaf refers to the deaf culture or the community. Deaf people see themselves as living a unique life, and it's not considered to them an overwhelming handicap or disability. They think it's part of their identity. And it's true that lots of deaf people get implants or devices to improve their hearing, but most individuals don't feel like they need to be cured or fixed. Many deaf people are proud to be deaf, and they're proud of their achievements and success that they have because despite the fact that they can't hear. The second aspect I want to talk to you guys about is respect. This can help you better interact with the deaf community. One major thing to look at is how you label them. Some examples of labels that have been used to label the deaf are the deaf and dumb, deaf mute, handicapped, disabled, or abnormal. Over the years, the deaf community has worked to educate hearing people about the negative connotations of some labels. But deaf people prefer that being deaf and the deaf community be looked at in a positive way. Some people think that some labels may be more polite than others, like hearing impaired. Some people think hearing impaired may be in a more polite way than using deaf. But actually, deaf people see that as a negative connotation because of the word impaired. So they really would just prefer to be called deaf. They're proud to be deaf, actually. They don't want to be looked at as disabled or weak. They can do just as much as hearing people can do. With new technology, they can even do things like talk on the phone. They can be teachers. They just want to be respected. And the next time you're in contact with a deaf person, you shouldn't feel uncomfortable. Just feel free to try and communicate. You have to realize that they are just like any one of us. Most deaf people are happy to see that a hearing person wants to communicate with them using sign language. I was always really nervous to go and talk to deaf people, but in our class, in ASL, he requires us to go to 5 deaf events. So we have to go somewhere with a bunch of deaf people, and it's really hard, especially on the first one, because you really don't know any sign language. But you have to go up to them and talk to them because you have to get their signatures and stuff. And I learned that they're really patient with you. They'll let you finger spell every word, and they'll go really, really slow. They're willing to communicate in different ways. And there's different ways to get their attention, like a hand wave or tapping them on the shoulder. You might consider doing some things rude, like waving your hand in front of someone's face would be considered rude, but in their culture it's not. It's just a way to get their attention. I went to a deaf event and someone was stomping on the floor to get a lady's attention, and they'll write down words, mouthing words, finger spelling. They're very patient with you, and you just have to know that they're like anyone else. Well, that pretty much wraps up my speech, and I hope all of you learned some things about the deaf culture and how to interact with the deaf community. Next time you come into contact with a deaf person, don't feel nervous. Just try to communicate, and you might learn a lot.